Hey guys, this is a market update. The bull market is in full swing right now. You're seeing the velocity of everything get much faster. People are coming back into crypto using blockchains. You can just feel that big kind of rush of people and attention and money flowing into the space. So where exactly are we right now in that phase? And how long can it take? I'll show you some data here about these expansion phases because we're right on the precipice of one. And so it's obviously a big opportunity, but it's also something that we should be very aware of because as investors or traders, we need to always think about the next phase. We need to be trading right now for what will happen in 12 to 18 months time, right? So during this expansion phase, it's great, but after the expansion phase, each and every time, we've had, the bear market, right? As you can see, you get the expansion and then the drawdowns. And so we have to always stay one step ahead of the market and understand what we're trying to do. So we'll go through that in this video. Firstly, with Bitcoin, you can see we got a little bit overextended and now we've kind of come back into this green box, which is the previous all-time highs. And this is great in a bull market because what you want is to trade a lot of volume at a price level, to have that price level as a big area of support. And then that is the support level for the next phase of the expansion. Is that going to happen? Yes, I think so, because yesterday, the FOMC meeting from the Fed, what did Jerome Powell say? No more rate hikes. We will be cutting this year. We're tapering QT. So that is the start of the easing cycle. So they've eased in their rhetoric and actually now starting to in their policy as well. If the central bank eases, assets go up. It's as simple as that. Do we worry about inflation? Do we worry about employment? Actually, that's just data that the Fed uses for their policy. But if their policy is to ease, right, then assets go up. Oh, but inflation's too high. Doesn't matter. If they're debasing the currency and easing their policy, everything goes up, including inflation and all assets. The thing we have to be worried about is if the Fed gets hawkish again, but they're not hawkish right now. Right? They're turning a bit dovish, which means asset prices go up. And so for as long as they're dovish, that's the bull market and asset prices are going to go up of everything that grows. So that's where we are, a bull market, and we're just starting that ridiculous expansion phase where everything goes to new all-time highs and gets that big, growth for whatever, 6 to 12 months. So if you do trade, Bybit deposit bonus down below, up to 30K, you can make a deposit and trade on Bybit. Check the link down below for the details. The Euphoria zone, as Glassnode calls it here, is essentially the bull market expansion. And as you can see by the green areas, these can last for a long time. They're certainly not a couple of weeks or a couple of months. They're more like 6, 8, 12 months of ridiculousness, bull markets, new all-time highs, and a lot of volatility. 30% drawdowns, right? You can see all of the headlines. Everything's getting very hectic. And so that's a bull market for crypto. And you can see right here, we're just starting one, right? It's just the very, very early stages of that huge, massive expansion phase. And during these phases, there's going to be just so much volatility. There's going to be so much noise. So we have to make sure that we stick to our plan, which is always investing or trading for the next phase. During the bear market, that's where you trade for the bull market. During the bull market, you have to be super cautious about what you're buying, why you're buying it, making sure that your long-term plan is still in place because the Euphoria zone is fantastic. Everyone's making money, right? If everything's at an all-time high, everyone's doing great. But of course, the next phase is the drawdown. And we don't want to get trapped at the very, very top, putting loads of money in at the very, very top, because the next phase is a drawdown. So we just have to make sure our longer term plan is in place. Any asset that is even half decent is going to go up in value in fiat currency terms because the fiat currency is garbage and it actually goes down in value, right? And so everything else looks like it's going up in value, but what's really happening is that the fiat currency just buys less of that thing, right? It's as simple as that. It's like, how can a fairly... even if Bitcoin is only fairly desirable, it's okay, whatever, it's still going to go up in value because the fiat currency is trash. You chuck it in the bin, it's worthless. And so, everything's going to go up versus dollars. That's not really what we're trading right here, though, is it? So, this is Bitcoin in dollars, and it's going to go up as forever, essentially, versus dollars and other fiat currencies. This is Bitcoin versus oil. Oil, energy, the base cost for civilization, and Bitcoin is going up in energy terms. That means that if you hold Bitcoin, you're actually becoming wealthier because you can buy more energy, and that is wealth. And so that's really what we're looking at long term. You can see we're just at all-time highs right now, not quite. And so look, we're in an expansion and a recovery phase from a big drawdown. And so again, once you break out, you seem to go a lot higher with the Bitcoin price. And so if we do break out here, you're looking for that second phase of this bull market to really put us into new all-time highs versus oil. This is Bitcoin against the NASDAQ index. One of the most popular index in the world, the best performing kind of large scale index, technology stocks in the States, right? Nvidia, Microsoft, Tesla, Apple, all of those, the best companies in the world, right? The tech oligopoly, and Bitcoin is outperforming it. Again, we're not quite an all-time high in terms of the NASDAQ, but why would you not invest in the NASDAQ? And why would you invest in Bitcoin? Well, despite the volatility, Bitcoin has to outperform it. Right, if you're not outperforming the NASDAQ, there's no point in investing in BTC because those are the best companies in the world, right? Well, we're outperforming the NASDAQ. You can very clearly see that. Not quite an all-time high, but it looks like we're potentially going into that expansion again. The Bitcoin halving is massive, and that's next month, and we know that the supply is going to get cut. The other big milestone is the ETH ETF. There's a lot of noise about this. Will it get accepted or not? And I just don't think it matters. I think the people that would have sold or gone short because of the denial have done so. And everyone else in it now doesn't care about it. And that's where we are. And I don't think it's going to derail the bull market for ETH. And the big reason is because BlackRock have just launched their first money market fund on Ethereum directly. And that tells us everything we need to know. Over the next decade, they're going to put all of their funds on ETH and they're going to tokenize everything. And they've told us that publicly. And so I just don't care about the ETF. And I don't think anyone else does as well. And so if it gets rejected, I think you'll see a dip, people trying to short it, people trying to FUD it. And then you just get people that say, well, hold on, BlackRock are building on this, right? This is huge. Seeing all these people come in, it doesn't matter. And so the SEC are basically a criminal outfit at this point. A judge has actually said that, so we'll get to that. So the SEC delays the spot Ethereum ETF. That's fine. It's May 23rd, I believe, which is the final date. But the public comment period has started, which is very important because you can't accept an ETF without a public comment period. And that seems to have been started here. However, the rumors are circling, right? Gary is trying to destroy the ETH ETF. Now, he is getting paid off by Jamie Dimon and the banking lobby to try and stifle the innovation here. They know, the banking lobby, who put money into Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler, they know that crypto is going to destroy their business model. And so they're trying to slow down crypto as much as possible. That's how it works. That's just what it is. So it doesn't actually matter because you cannot stop crypto now. It's too late. Ethereum is not a security. Millions of Americans hold ETH. It's vital and it is not a security. It is a commodity. This is the head lawyer for Coinbase. There's a lot of legal precedent showing this. The SEC lost their case against Ripple, and that case specifically says crypto assets traded on secondary markets are commodities. So that's legal precedent in the US. So Ethereum is not a security. It is not. It also trades on the CFTC regulated market, the futures market, which also is literal, it makes it a commodity, right? Because the SEC and the CFTC have accepted that market. It is a commodity. And so what's going on right now is last minute ruffle of feathers. If they find some tiny little reason to deny it, fair enough. But like I said, I don't think it matters. They're sending burdensome subpoenas to all crypto companies to try and cherry pick small things out of context to try and deny the Ethereum ETF. Bad faith case, harm investors, right? So that's what it is. And we know that they're paid off by the banks and that's why they're doing this. This is the debt box case where the SEC literally were called criminals. It demonstrates a pattern of organizational bad faith and broadly implicates the commission itself, not just individuals. The SEC is just untrustworthy as an outfit. and whatever they do, it doesn't matter. This is BlackRock now actually putting their first money market fund on the Ethereum blockchain. So they're using securitized here. The money market fund is called Buildle or Build. The fund invests 100% of its assets in cash and US Treasury bills. So it's an institutional money market fund, essentially, where institutions can, essentially buy into the fund, and then they're holding dollars with yield. This is their public address. This is their Ethereum address, BlackRock's Ethereum address. You can see there's $100 million in here, this USDC, $100 million that they're using for the money market fund, plus a bunch of other, you can see the list here of like Pepe and other things, which everyone's sending to the address, which is hilarious. But you can't stop this now. It's unstoppable, right? BlackRock are using it. They've said, we're going to tokenize everything, right? So you can't stop it. So the ETF thing's noise. Yeah, short term goes down. Doesn't matter. This industry is growing, and we're at this precipice of that expansion phase.